PhD, the Chief of Staff to the Honorable Speaker, Mr. Smart Larry Wasiu, the Director, Mentorship Initiative, Mr. Dapo Oyewole, the Permanent Secretary, State House, Asoro Tijani Umar, Maria Perian, Country Director, Conrad Adenoa Stifung, Dr. Ike Neliaku, Chairman, Leadership Advancement Foundation Implementation Partner, Ambassador Jake Ekpele, CEO and founder, Albino Foundation, the Speaker, LMI Parliament, Right Honorable Olise Abu, other principal officers of LMI and distinguished fellow in training of LMI, gentlemen of the press, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I have the singular honor and privilege to welcome you all to the graduation and conferment of LMI Fellowship Ceremony. We are here for a reason. I believe it's about the founder of LMI throwing little torch out to lead people through the dark. And this is because it is easy to build children than to repair broken men. And the speaker, in my understanding, is committed to influence others in such a way that builds up, encourage, and edify them so that they can duplicate his attitude. Please, can we put our hands together for the Honorable Speaker? At this point, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, without much ado, we'll delve straight into this all-important event while I humbly invite for the opening ceremony the Director, Legislative Mentorship Initiative, Dapo Oyewole. Mr. Dapo, you are welcome, sir.
Thank you very much indeed. The Honorable Speaker of the Nigerian House of Representatives, Right Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, CFR, the Chair of the Selection Committee of the Legislative Mentorship Initiative, Right Honorable Henry Nwanwuba, distinguished senators, honorable members of the House of Representatives, the DG of the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, NILS, Professor Abubakar Suleiman, representatives of the international community as well as civil society, captains of industry, friends, family, gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and for the last time, I will use this term for this cohort, our dear fellows in training. Good afternoon, everybody. LMI? LMI? Fit? Fit? Excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, 5 weeks ago, several guests and dignitaries, some here seated here today, gathered at the National Assembly to witness the historic inauguration of the Legislative Mentorship Initiative. The event served as the official commencement of the 2022 fellowship program of the Legislative Mentorship Initiative, an initiative founded by the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Right Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, CFR, and following the launch of the LMI on the 26th of June as part of Mr. Speaker's 60th birthday celebration, 4,000 applications from 36 states of the Federation, including the FCT, were received. And after a rigorous screening process, 74 candidates scaled through to make up the inaugural cohort of the Legislative Mentorship Initiative. These are the people graduating today. A round of applause for them. Ladies and gentlemen, it is said that every story that has a beginning must have an end. And so this journey that began 5 weeks ago has come to a remarkable end today. But this end is only a new beginning of levels of leadership, commitment, and passion from the fellows in training who will, by the end of the day, officially become the very first fellows of the Legislative Mentorship Initiative and will go forth into the world to apply and demonstrate all that they have learned in 54 rigorous and intense training sessions on all aspects of governance and public sector leadership during their 5-week LMI Leadership Training Bootcamp, which ended yesterday. For the LMI Management and Operations team, we started this journey over a year ago with one single but powerful charge from Mr. Speaker. A charge to identify, to train, and equip young leaders with the passion and demonstrable capacity for effective public sector leadership, especially in the legislature. This focus was born out of Mr. Speaker's desire to see the birth of a new breed of competent leaders that will shape the future of our country and take us to even greater heights. The LMI was therefore founded by the Speaker to develop the next generation of legislators and ethical public sector leaders who are well equipped with responsive leadership skills, knowledge, and expertise to enhance public service delivery as well as foster national cohesion. After a year of designing, developing, and preparing, it has been an immense honor and privilege to lead the LMI team in successfully hosting the very first cohort of the LMI Fellowship Program under the able and capable leadership of Mr. Speaker. For this honor and privilege, I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, in the 5-week leadership training bootcamp that I referred to earlier on, and which I mentioned was concluded just yesterday, we sought to achieve Mr. Speaker's vision with the delivery of a rigorous and comprehensive program, which included 54 training sessions, mentor exchange sessions where our fellows in training meet with seasoned public sector leaders and exchange ideas and experience. We also have what we call the Speaker Series, where we have some of the world's, as well as our own country's, leading thought leaders talk to our fellows. And of course, we also ensured that these fellows themselves, or the fellows in training themselves, had their own Speaker Series where they were sharing their thoughts, their reflections, and their aspirations with one another. And of course, we embarked on excursions to relevant public institutions. And of course, since our FITs are being trained to operate in the public service, one of the first excursions that we ensured that they started with was a visit to the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. And I think they had a great time. They learned a lot of lessons, and I doubt they'll be back there at any time in the near future. Am I right? Excellent. Through these insightful sessions, the fellows in training were exposed to various aspects of governance and nation building, and I'm convinced they now understand the architecture of government, the challenges of governance, and have indeed been equipped with all that is needed to excel in public sector leadership. The 2022 fellowship cohort concluded with a learning tour to the Aso Rock Villa and, of course, a lovely dinner hosted at the banquet hall for the fellows by the Chief of Staff to Mr. President. On behalf of our founder, we cannot but express our deepest gratitude to the Chief of Staff to the President, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, and the Permanent Secretary of the State House, Mr. Tijani Umar, who went the extra mile to make sure our fellows in training truly believe that they can indeed become great leaders in our nation by showing them the highest office in the land and by doing, sharpening their vision and strengthening their conviction that one of them can be an occupant of that exalted office in the near future. It would indeed be great, I'm sure you agree with me, if one day we have a president who is sworn in and proceeds to the villa, and what he says when he gets there is, I have been here before as part of my training as an LMI fellow. Or it would also be great to see in that dome in the banquet hall that of all the faces of our past leaders in this room, one of the faces of fellows in training would also be on that wall. Or we can even push it further. As you were walking into this building today, you saw the faces of our past speakers, include our current speaker, Mr. Speaker. Well, it will be great to see one of the faces of the fellows in training also being part of that picture very soon. And I must tell you, from the caliber of the graduating cohort that we see here today, I am very sure that that day is just around the corner. And so, to our fellows in training who are about to be officially inducted as fellows of the Legislative Mentorship Initiative, I say a very hearty congratulations to you. You have started the course, you have stayed the course through these 5 weeks, learning, relearning, unlearning. You have engaged in training sessions diligently, challenging your assumptions and driving necessary policy discourse and debates about the future of our country and what role you can play in making that future a bright one. Indeed, you have demonstrated and that you are committed to causing transformational change through your, and that you are eminently qualified to call yourselves LMI Fellows. Congratulations, I am very proud of you. As you graduate and you go back to your respective states, newly christened as LMI Fellows, you should do so knowing the critical role that you play in shaping the future of our country and perhaps our world. And I must tell you, Nigeria needs you, needs your talent, your energy, your vitality, your brilliance, and of course, your leadership. And I trust as you go forth, you will keep these in mind, knowing fully well that the solutions to some of our challenges all lie in your hands. The future, it definitely lies in your hands, but it starts from today. Leadership, they say, is service. And there's no greater way to exemplify service than the willingness to sacrifice for the good of the next generation. Mr. Speaker has exemplified this through his decision to light 73 bright candles that you see in this room, candle standing, shining on top of a hill. Congratulations, Mr. Speaker. You have embodied exactly the kind of leadership that you want them to reflect. And thank you very much, leadership that you want them to reflect. And thank you very much, sir. And to the fits, to justify the investment, Mr. Speaker, the management team, our funders, our partners, the resource persons that have thrown their knowledge and all that they have into you, I charge you to apply all that you have learned and commit to lighting other candles on your own way as Mr. Speaker has lit your own candle. I charge you to remain proudly Nigerian, to preserve your love for our country and our heritage with an unwavering sense of patriotism and national pride. As you go forth as fellows of the LMI, you do so as ambassadors, ambassadors of democracy, but also as ambassadors of Mr. Speaker. I urge you to hold fast to the values and the principles that you have been trained with, values of integrity, service, and excellence, which mark the character of an LMI fellow. Your journey has only begun, and I look forward to hearing the exploits that 73 of you will achieve in the various fields of service you shall venture into, both in Nigeria and internationally. We are not encouraging you to japa, please note that. I look forward to seeing you mentor and invest in other young Nigerians, just as Mr. Speaker has invested in you. And most especially, I look forward to seeing most of you back here at the National Assembly, not as fellows or as mentees any longer, but as elected representatives of the National Assembly, or perhaps we shall even see you at the Villa. Once again, Mr. Speaker, we thank you for your leadership and your mentorship. A warm welcome to all our partners, our guests, our resource persons. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for believing in us. Thank you for supporting us. And thank you for being here at this historic occasion. And to the fits, for the last time, may I say this? LMI? LMI? And for the last time, you will answer the charge, fit? 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 God bless our speaker. God bless the Legislative Mentorship Initiative. And God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you very much and welcome.
That was a brilliant opening remarks by Dakpo Oyewole, Director, Legislative Mentorship Initiative. With the cream of LMI graduates I see here today, it's clear that the Honorable Speaker, Right Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, deserves a flourishing trumpet, as he had indeed inspired the graduates here today and all of us here in the National Assembly. Please, can we give the Speaker another round of applause? At this junction, I will quickly invite Sholakwe Shonuga, Coordinator, Legislative Mentorship Initiative, to give us LMI at a glance, the program, progress, and impact.
The Speaker of the House of Representatives and founder of the Legislative Mentorship Initiative, Right Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, CFR, distinguished ladies and gentlemen and everyone present. Please permit me to stand on existing protocols. I'm delighted to be here with you at this graduation and conferment celebration ceremony of the inaugural Legislative Mentorship Initiative cohort. In what seems like just yesterday, we were gathered here in a similar fashion to welcome these brilliant young individuals from across the nation to begin their journey in excellent public sector leadership. Now, 5 weeks have come and gone, and our inaugural cohort, fondly known as the FITs, the Fellows in Training, will graduate today. And they will no longer be in training. Now, they will be fellows of the inaugural LMI cohort. And so, before we delve into today's program of events, we would like to take you on a little journey to show you and share more about the conception, the initiation, and the execution of the Legislative Mentorship Initiative. First of all, as you all know, it is an established fact in Nigeria that young people dominate the demographic map of our country. Furthermore, the political landscape of any polity should ideally reflect any society within which it operates. This will mean that there should be a higher level of inclusivity for young people in decision-making processes. However, these young people cannot participate in decision-making processes that they do not understand. On the other hand, the Speaker of the Ninth House of Representatives, Right Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, CFR, is a leader that is passionate about young people. He's passionate about youth leadership and development, and is committed to raising the next generation of leaders. Taking from the words of John Maxwell, there is no success without a successor. And so, in his over 20 years of service to the nation within the legislature, the Speaker has invested in education, he has invested in developing the capacity of young people, he has invested in transforming and training the next generation of leaders. Notwithstanding the work that the Speaker has done, he had a greater vision for the role that the youth have to play in securing the future of Nigeria. Thus, he entrusted the delivery of this vision to the special advisor who just spoke now, Mr. Dakpo Oyewole, who is now the director of the Legislative Mentorship Initiative. Under the watchful eye of Mr. Speaker, the LMI was born. It is of its kind initiative specially designed to identify, train, and equip the next generation of public sector leaders, particularly legislators. The primary purpose of the LMI is to equip and empower young leaders by providing them with the necessary leadership skills, knowledge, and expertise required to enhance public sector delivery and foster national cohesion. And so, after months of brainstorming sessions, stakeholder consultations, needs analysis, risk assessments, planning, and numerous strategy sessions, the LMI was launched to the public on the 26th of June, 2022. And within 24 hours of its launch, we had received over 1,000 applications for the LMI. And as of the time that the application closed, about a month later, we had received over 4,000 applications for this mentorship initiative. Chaired by Honorable Henry Wawoba and an astounding selection panel, we worked for almost a month, sifting through the thousands of applications we received. In our selection, it was mandatory for all the participants to be citizens of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, aged between 21 and 35, and rooted in patriotism with a vision and passion for public leadership and Nigeria's stability, growth, and development. From that rigorous, merit-based, and inclusive-driven selection process, these faces you see before you today were selected. I thought that we would get a round of applause for that. Because from the 4,000 that we received, 74 of these people passed through because they exhibited exceptional leadership skills and dedication for patriotism and Nigeria. We take pride in them not just because they are brilliant and they have enormous potential, but because they are a representation of the nation. We have here people from all states in the country, including the FCT. To promote inclusivity and ensure that there is a proper representation, we have a great gender balance of men and women, and we also have persons with disabilities in the program. After the selection and tireless work from every single member of the team, on the 3rd of October 2022, we welcomed the fellows in training in Abuja and officially commenced the program. Now, I'm going to conclude here and hand over the microphone to the program manager of the LMI to tell you more about the program and the journey thus far. But before I leave, I want to say that the initiation, execution, and delivery of the LMI is one that I am honored to have been a part of. For the past 5 weeks, I've had the pleasure and the honor of interacting with the LMI fellows in training. And I must say that every interaction, every lesson, every training brought me closer and closer to believing that Nigeria indeed will be great again. I have no doubt that this LMI inaugural cohort will take the Nigerian public sector, political sector, and policy development space by storm and transform the nation in a positive way. They have been equipped and they are set to make a mark in Nigeria, in Africa, and indeed the world at large. As Mr. Speaker always says, nation building is a joint task, and I am thankful that I had the opportunity to join in this great vision. To the fantastic LMI management and operations team, thank you. To the director of the LMI, Mr. Dapo Oyewole, thank you. And to Mr. Speaker for allowing me to be a part of this journey that you have embarked upon, thank you. You for listening to me, thank you very much, and the rest of the program.
And for Mr. Speaker to allow me to be the MC of this program, thank you, sir. Please, can I have Chimdi Neliako, Program Manager, LMI, to add value to what we have already?
Thank you, sir. Your Excellency, the Right Honorable Speaker of the House of Representatives and founder, Legislative Mentorship Initiative, Right Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, CFR. Members of the Board of Trustees of the LMI, the Director, LMI, Mr. Dapo Oyewole, LMI Management and Operations Team, partners of the LMI, our dear fellows in training, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is my honor to bid you a good afternoon today. As my dear colleague Sholakbe has said, she's really quite laid the foundation for how we got here. And the director himself has also ably spoken to us about what the program entailed, the excursions that they went for. And I'm sure you can see that it has indeed been a remarkable 5 weeks. A remarkable 5 weeks of over 70 sessions, building the fellows in training as qualified, competent, and capacitated individuals that are taking Nigeria by storm. Beyond the lectures and the excursions, they've also engaged in mock parliamentary sittings, which I am pleased to say you'll get to see what that has been like very soon. They've also engaged in social activities. They've engaged in a very lovely picnic that was hosted at the Yaradua Center. Thank you to the DG who is here. So I'm going to then speak a bit about the progress and the impact. And I've divided this into 5 key things. One is around personal transformation. Over the the past 5 weeks, we've seen these fellows in training emerge, blossom, and metamorph into a bunch of extraordinary individuals. It was just yesterday that I thought Sedo from Benue was a very quiet and brilliant young lady. But during the parliamentary sitting, I was quite impressed when I heard Sedo shouting, you know, Mr. Speaker. And I was like, wow, I didn't know you had that in you, Sedo. We've seen them rally around each other, from Lotana, who started a writing session with the encouragement of her fellows or her fellows in training. All round, there has been personal transformation for each and every one of them. The second is in building public trust and relationships between governments and citizens. I remember just yesterday when Jane and Pamela used to ask so many questions with a lot of skepticism and inquiry about the public sector. And I'm pleased to say that today, a lot of the questions have been answered. And today, there's a greater understanding about the public sector and its intricacies. The third is on consolidating visions. There was a selection panel that identified brilliance, commitment, and passion to nation building in each and every one of the fellows in training. However, as we know, we young people, along our journeys, come to a point where all our different interests are then put together, consolidated to make impact. That is what the LMI has done for these 73 fellows. I'm pleased to announce that we have in this class a fellow who will be running for House of Representatives in the 2023 elections. That is consolidation of vision. Thank you, sir. Four is inclusive leadership, and this one is very important. Throughout the course of the training, we taught the fellows inclusivity in governance. We taught them inclusion of persons with disabilities. We taught them about inclusion of women, and we taught them about inclusion of young people in the decision-making processes in governance. I am delighted to announce that when the fellows in training organized their first parliamentary election, they, on their own, without any help from the management team, elected 6 female principal officers and 6 male principal officers. In addition, they elected, a person with disabilities as their minority leader. So, sir, what we see today is that there's a new Nigeria emerging out of the seed that the Right Honorable Speaker has sown into the lives of the fellows. And they have all taken a pact that it wouldn't just end here at the LMI, but they're going out as ambassadors of a new way of doing leadership under your able care and mentorship, our Right Honorable Speaker. Thank you, sir. The final key impact that we've seen over the past 5 weeks is around taking responsibility and showing leadership. Throughout this program, we've taught the fellows that we are all leaders. We don't have to be the president, the governor, or Mr. Speaker to make change wherever we find ourselves. And I'm delighted to announce that all the lessons that we've taught the fellows from various parts of the country have been coming to say they are going to set up this grassroots campaign to talk to the grassroots about all that they have learned. They are paying it forward. Thank you. From Temi and Abayomi, who are doing their grassroots campaign on Oyo State, to Nature Iboro from Cross River State, who has actually begun renovating a school here in Abuja and plans to use this as an opportunity to call on other individuals to adopt a classroom. This is the kind of impact that is coming out of the LMI program. Of course, They are learning about the Parliament, the House of Representatives, the Senate, has also completely transformed in that you can ask any one of them here how to draft a motion, and they will do a fantastic job. Yes, sir. In fact, at a point, they started speaking in parliamentary speech, which I found quite hilarious. So they would say, the House notes that it's time for dinner. So you can see that they've actually internalized these things. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for your able leadership. So to conclude this, I would say that people matter more than things. All these impacts that we've talked about today would not have been possible if the Right Honorable Speaker and founder of the LMI did not invest in developing, building, and nurturing the next generation of public sector leaders. Mr. Speaker, sir, you have built an army of young, committed, driven, emerging public sector leaders who are taking not just the nation, but the entire continent and the world by storm. I thank you very kindly, sir, for the opportunity to be part of this planning and organization of the program as the program manager, of course under the able leadership of our dear director, Mr. Dapo Oyewole. And so in closing, I say to the world, because I've already spoken to the faiths, to the world I say to you, watch out for Baja Fellows. Thank you very much.
Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, before we proceed to take the message of Goodwill, I would like to humbly acknowledge the presence of the representative of the SDF. He is the Permanent Secretary, General Service, Mberi Maurice Nnamdi. You're welcome, please. Also gracing this occasion is a royal father, Pere Esuku I of Tuomo Kingdom of Kado District, Abuja FCT, His Royal Majesty, Dr. Justice F.F. Tabai, CON.JSC. You're welcome, Your Royal Highness. With the arrays of testimonies we've received so far from this side, it's clear that the Speaker has exhibited uncommon wisdom, remarkable vision, exemplary leadership, and it's no doubt, sir, Mr. Speaker, you have been a role model and example of selfless giving to this generation. And I'm proud to hold you as someone worthy of emulation, Mr. Speaker. Please, can we give the Speaker a round of applause? At this point, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I will humbly invite for a message of goodwill, Honorable Henry Unwambawa, Chairman, Committee on Legislative Agenda and Chairman, LMI Selection Panel. Honorable Unwambawa, you're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. The Right Honorable Speaker of the 9th House of Representatives, my brother, my friend, and for those of us who have been in this parliament for less than 4 tenures, a mentor indeed, a quintessential lawmaker, very visionary, Femi Gbajabiamila, Commander of the Federal Republic. Let me just quickly recognize my second brother here in the house today, Professor Abubakar Suleiman, the DG for NILS, the Clerk of the House of Representatives, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, our mentees, a very good afternoon to all of us. Mr. Speaker, sir, it was because you believe that the youths are the fulcrum of nation building, the future. That was why, in your wisdom, you selected another young man with capacity, Mr. Dapo Oyewole, to lead the charge to put this noble idea together. Dapo, I thank you most sincerely. I am proud of what we have achieved. My role this afternoon is basically to give a few remarks of goodwill, though I would have preferred to be on the receiving end, having chaired the selection committee. And to the mentees, let me just say this. Out of 4,000 applications, 74 of you made it this far. I want to say a very big congratulations to you all. There is no doubt that the youths are the leaders of tomorrow, and this leadership initiative is meant to build a pipeline for the next generation of leaders in Nigeria. I am so happy and so proud that throughout my interface with you, you have not only demonstrated the desire to learn, but you have also been eager, and I am very satisfied with the result and the output of what we're seeing today. I want to say that I look forward to working very closely with all of you. We shall be keeping a very close eye to see what you will become tomorrow. The last census that we had in this country was in 2006, and our population was then estimated at about 160 million. With a potential growth rate of 2%. Today, we're certainly in excess of 200 million Nigerians. And of course, the youths are the powerhouse of that generation. We know that this is the inauguration or the pilot scheme. This is the very first mentorship program that has ever happened in the Nigerian House of Representatives under this leadership of Mr. Speaker. We believe that with the right partners, we will institutionalize this concept, and this will continue in other parliaments to come. I do not intend to take much of your time because I know we're here to give the certificates, and I'm very sure that you cannot wait to be officially called and recognized as fellows. On that note, therefore, let me just quickly say a very big congratulations, and I look forward to working with you all in the future. Thank you very much.
Can we please put our hands together once for Honorable Henry Wambawa? It's obvious if we allow every speaker coming to give message of goodwill to reel out testimonies of how they see this all-important program, they will keep going on and on. But for the sake of time, I'll crave the indulgence of every personality coming to give message of goodwill to kindly take just 2 minutes because the speaker has other events to attend to, please. At this point, I will humbly invite also for a message of goodwill the Director General, National Institute of Legislative and Democratic Studies, Professor Abubakar Suleiman.
For electoral. Your Excellency, the Speaker, House of Representatives, Right Honorable Femi Akim Gbajabiamila, let me kindly align with the existing protocol, just to abide by the timing space. I wish to congratulate the Speaker of the House not only for conceiving the idea of the Legislative Mentorship Initiative, but also for ensuring its successful delivery and conclusion. The vision to conceptualize initiative approaches to legislative governance and the tenacity to see them through have become hallmark of Mr. Speaker's leadership. On numerous occasions, you have demonstrated remarkable foresight, patriotism, and willingness to engage with complex issues of national importance. I also wish to congratulate all fellows and associates for completing the Maiden Legislative Mentorship Initiative. Your enthusiasm, keen interest in acquiring knowledge and commitment to actualizing the objectives of this program have justified the effort and investment made by the House of Representatives and its partners. Through my engagement with you and the feedback received from all the resource persons, I'm particularly proud of your dedication, discipline, and the seriousness you showed these past 5 weeks. As this program draws to a close, another phase has just begun for fellows and associates. You have now become ambassadors of the legislature. You are therefore saddled with the responsibility of passing on some of the knowledge you have acquired to all Nigerians you encounter henceforth. This is not only necessary, but also noble. The legislature is at the heart of Nigerian democracy. Over the last 2 decades, this institution has contributed to strengthening the quality of our democracy through institution building and other reform measures. At the core of the LMI, therefore, is the belief that Nigeria needs to develop and sustain clear leadership, selection strategies. Previous models based mainly on clientelist practices have not delivered the desired results. Hence, we need to define the qualities required in our future leaders and develop clear and deliberate systems for identifying and training them. We cannot develop as a nation through perpetual trial and error techniques. Political leadership, recruitment, and selection to be purposeful, deliberate, based on clear objective criteria, and necessarily involve the youth that constitute the bulk of our population. The structures of the LMIs allow you, the interns and associates, to maintain a relationship with the legislature and hopefully to get involved either as a staff or selected representative. On our part at the Institute, we are prepared to sustain the Legislative Mentorship Initiative beyond the 9th Assembly, to ensure that it continues to engage young people in issues of legislative governance and processes. We look forward to working with the leadership of the National Assembly and other stakeholders to advance this objective. I encourage interested LMI fellows to enroll in the Institute Master Degree programs in legislative studies, parliamentary administration, and legislative drafting to further deepen your knowledge on the legislature. May I, at this juncture, pleased to announce that the Institute has decided, as part of our contribution, to absorb one of the mentees to our Institute, subject to the approval of the Institute's Governing Council. Thank you for your consideration. Thank you for your attention. Thank you very much.
Please, can we give the DG Niels another round of applause? I will also quickly invite for the message of goodwill, Mr. Tijani Umar, Permanent Secretary, State House, Aso Rock Villa.
LMI, faith, congratulations. Your Excellency, the Speaker of the Ninth House of Representatives, the Right Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, Commander of the Order of the Federal Republic. Other distinguished invited ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I would like to start by acknowledging what John C. Maxwell correctly captured. Success is never complete without a successor. But of relevance to us this evening is that the MLI, this great product of the Honorable Speaker, is a very practical response to the need for succession planning in all our endeavors. Thank you, sir. It was a huge opportunity for the State House to play a role in this history-making initiative. It was very great to receive these wonderful fellows yesterday evening. We had a wonderful time together, and I'm sure that they came away from the State House believing that it is possible to be back there at the top. It is also for me a very clear demonstration of the practical way of the legislature and the executive working together to achieve a very lofty national goal. For the State House to have the opportunity to participate and to contribute to this great initiative by His Excellency, the Speaker of the House, I think we don't need any better demonstration that the different arms of government working together will simply give us the desired goals. Thank you for the opportunity. As a result, the State House will continue to engage young and goal-oriented Nigerians and to facilitate a very robust interface between the seat of government and the governed, so that any barriers are likely through this to be broken down. As the custodian of the institutional memory in the State House, LMI is now guaranteed a study tour for its subsequent cohorts. In this shared task and responsibility to nurture leaders for our country that are ready and prepared to lead. Congratulations to the Right Honorable Speaker for this foresight. Congratulations to the staff of LMI under the leadership of Dr. Oyewole and the other leaders, the coordinator, and then the project manager, Chimdi Neliaku, and my other friend, Sholakpe Shonuga. And congratulations to the graduates and fellows this evening. I am very happy to say that what I see today is that all of you have been found worthy in character and in learning to be admitted this evening as fellows of LMI. Thank you, congratulations.
Can we please give the PAMSEC another round of applause? We'll continue with the message of Goodwill, while I also invite Marian Perian, the country director, Conrad Adonai Steve Tong, please.
the Right Honourable Speaker, House of Representatives, Femi Jabamia-Mila, CFR. Chairman, House Committee of the Legislative Agenda, Honourable Henry Nawuba, the DG, Niels, Professor Abubakar Sulaiman, a partner and friend, all dignitaries, and most importantly, the LMI Fellows in Training. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is a joyful day, a day for celebrations. And on that note, I want to congratulate the inaugural cohort of the LMI Fellows for successfully completing the fellowship program. Congratulations, very well done. So today we have gathered to celebrate you, 74 young, sharp minds, paving your way to become Nigeria's leaders of tomorrow. As leaders, you need to identify a good opportunity when it comes your way. You have to put in the work, go the extra mile even, and you have to be of strong morals and character. All of you sitting here today have proven that you are capable of this, capable and willing, because otherwise you wouldn't be sitting here today. You have all been a proactive member and contributor to your communities and the betterment of this beautiful country already before you joined this program. The months and years of hard work, focus and empathy with others have equipped you to be standing out amongst your peers, to be chosen out of more than 4,000 contestants to become an LMI Fellow. Now, many opportunities and good decisions that you took in the past have led you to our celebrations today. With the completion of the LMI Fellowship Program, you have further climbed the ladder to success and are better equipped to take on future challenges and tasks. I am very sure while you build your careers as future legislators and public sector leaders, you will think back regularly and remember the knowledge you gained here. But it is more than simply the knowledge. I am sure this program has further contributed to building a strong character as a public sector leader. Moreover, with plans to build and foster an alumni network that is linked to the public institutions, I'm sure that you will cross paths again in the future. The LMI bond is here to stay. Now, when going forward, I don't worry about all of you being successful in the future. Still, you need to be prepared for when the going gets tough. No matter how smart and well prepared you are, whether you fear it or not, disappointment will come at some point. The beauty is that through disappointment, you can gain clarity. And with clarity comes conviction and true originality. Be ready that disappointment will cross your way at some point, but moreover, be ready for leaving it behind and for becoming stronger by overcoming it. Likewise, mistakes can happen, but that doesn't mean there's no way of getting back on track. Learn from every mistake, because every experience, every encounter, and particularly mistakes, are here to teach you and force you into being more the person who you are. And then figure out what is the next right move. And then again, climbing the career ladder alone won't be fulfilling if you don't have peers, friends, and family to celebrate with and share your joy. Thus, to me, the key to a successful life, next to success in one's career, is to further develop an internal moral. Let's call it an emotional GPS. An emotional GPS that can tell you which way to go, that will guide you throughout your way, and that will also help you to make a right decision when challenged professionally. So all in all, work hard, be kind, and amazing things will happen. I'm sure of that. As you graduate today, as you deal with your excitement, go try and create the world that you want to live in, that you want to be part of. Minister to the world in a way that can change it. Minister radically, a real, active, practical way. Minister to the future of Nigeria and give back the same way the country, through the Office of the Speaker and this program, has invested in you. Change can come in different forms. So remember, the change also happens through constant and good practice, constant good governance, and addressing challenges in a holistic way. I want to leave it at that. Be aware of what you have already achieved, which is a lot. Use your emotional GPS and continue to work hard and make smart decisions. It will not only boost your own careers, it will boost the future of this beautiful country, and it will shine through you. Now, before I end, I want to use this opportunity and thank the Right Honourable Speaker for putting your vision of this program into practice and for inviting the Konrad Adenauer Stiftung to be part of this endeavour. As partners, we do want to see Nigeria thrive and become stronger. The way to achieve this is through its youth. Nigeria does need engaged leaders for tomorrow. So, combining privilege and a sense of commitment, the Speaker and the LMI team have done wonderfully, and I want to congratulate you as well as for successfully piloting the LMI program. Congratulations. CAS is proud to have been part of it, and I assure you, CAS will further support this program in the future. There are more future leaders already waiting in line to get their chance. Let's all be ready for this together, and let's make the LMI program last. Now, dear fellows, once again, good luck for your future careers. Thank you all, and God bless.
Can we please put our hands once again together? Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's obvious that our hearts and spirit is gladdened with what we are witnessing here today. But however, for the sake of time, I'll still crave the indulgence of our personality taking goodwill messages, so kindly make it brief. On this note, I'll invite the Chairman, Board of Trustee, Leadership Advancement Foundation, who also doubles as LMI Implementation Partner, Dr. Ike Neliako.
Mr. Speaker, LMI Fellows, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I am really thrilled by how magnanimous our Creator is by giving man the power of choice. It is very true that the choices we make will always reveal who we are, our personality, our passion, our culture, our character, and even our capacity. At a time like this, when many field politicians are all over the place, investing their resources to buy and share perishable commodities like rice, salt, including hairdressing equipment, usually given to almost every family in a community, such that every family is expected to be a hairdresser. And then you wonder how many people that the customers will have. Yet, another politician in the same space makes a different choice. A choice that lasts longer, an invaluable choice that is more strategic. Thank you. More enduring, though may not bring any direct return on investment to him as an individual. While others go for perishable items, this latter politician invests in what never perishes, an investment for all seasons. He chose to co-create and add value to God's creation. Lest we forget, salt could give great taste. Rice could even guarantee temporary defeat to hunger. But none can match the power and the makeup of informed, knowledgeable, and prepared minds, such as you have done. We are here to celebrate about 73 LMI fellows who are now potentially outstanding leaders through the commitment and creative efforts of one man and his team. Out of this number, I am sure that less than 0.1% is related to the founder of LMI. Let's face it, the founder could have used the resources invested in this LMI to buy salt, buy rice, buy fish, buy hairdressing equipment, buy bicycles, motorcycles, and even votes. But he made a more enduring choice. He chose humanity. I wonder what James Freeman Clark must have seen to conclude that a politician thinks of the next election, a statesman thinks of the next generation. But come to think of it, those that invest in people, especially young people, are usually the wise and prudent in the long run. Just imagine the quantum impact of sowing the LMI seed into the hearts of these 73 or 74 young people. Each comes from an average family of 6 persons. And with time, each will indeed get married and then have another family of average of 6. Imagine when LMI runs for about 10 years, a critical cluster of credible replacement generation of exceptional legislators would have been born. We have talked about politicians, we have talked about statesmen. However, the peculiarity of our operating environment makes me feel that the best is the statesman politician who combines and straddles the two offices of a politician and a statesman. We started talking about choice. For the graduating fellows, you are not meant to remain the same way when you came. Something has happened. You have been given wings to excel. The choice you now make is up to you. For the guests who are witnesses today, we are now challenged to make choices that add value to our nation. But for both the fellows and the guests, I leave you to now make the choice of what category to place the Right Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, the founder of LMI. Is he just a politician? Is he just a statesman? Or is he a statesman politician? Thank you. It's now my honor to present to the Right Honorable Speaker a copy of my recent book, The 7 Conspiracies of Power.
Please, can we do another round of applause? That was a brilliant presentation where it was made crystal clear that while other politicians are busy about election, the Right Honorable Speaker is so concerned about the next generation. We will continue with our message of goodwill while I humbly invite again Ambassador Jakes Ekpele, CEO and founder Albino Foundation from the great Opobo Kingdom. You're welcome, sir.
The Right Honorable Speaker of the House, the man who saw tomorrow today. Mr. Speaker, may I present a short but very memorable motion. Mr. Speaker, others invest in prosperity. You have invested in posterity. Mr. Speaker, others thrive in position. You have thrived in purpose. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, you have written your name in the sand of time that would take great effort to be deleted. Mr. Speaker, I call you today a champion. And for you that have had this privilege, always remember all of the things that you have been taught. But please take this home, that it takes character, it takes capacity, and it takes competence to build a leader. These three things you have been taught. Go out and shine. Let me end, because I can surely tell you that I didn't spend 2 minutes. But let me end with a song. Stand up for the champion, stand up.
Stand up for the champion, stand up. We may be seated, please. At this point, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we'll take the last but not the least message of Goodwill, while I would like to inform our technical crew to kindly be on standby for the documentary screening after this message of Goodwill. I will invite Ogene Urwadi, member LMI selection panel and manager Acumen Academy Fellows Program in West Africa, for a message of goodwill. You're welcome.
Your Excellency, Speaker of the 9th House of Representatives, Right Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, and founder of LMI, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, and allow me to stand on existing protocol. So when we look around Nigeria, we will find an abundance of human capital and natural resources. But yet, it will take a different type of leadership for this abundance to be felt by all. One that requires shifting the focus from individual to shared prosperity. I lead the Fellows Program at Acumen Academy, and the focus of me and my team is to build a movement of social entrepreneurs who have the tools, the knowledge, and community to drive change in an impactful way. Tools, knowledge, and community. Tools because we recognize the significance of expertise and competence in building sustainable institutions that can provide real path to progress. Knowledge because we also recognize that competence is not enough. You need leaders with character who can see others as an extension of themselves and basically be able to cross lines of differences. And then finally, community, because we recognize that the work of changing the narrative of Nigeria cannot be done in isolation. It requires an investment in nurturing a community that can provide both support and accountability. And so when I got the invitation to join the screening committee for the LMI, it was very easy to accept because I recognized that LMI was trying to build a critical yeast of youth who would get both the character, competence, commitment, and capacity of 4 C's, if you like, to build our public service. And so for us, the evaluation was a 3-stage process. But at each point or at each stage, we're focused on at least 3 things. The first is the capacity of each of the fellows in training that you've met today. And capacity means, do they have the track record in issues related to legislature or public service? The second is diversity, because we recognize that Nigeria is a pluralistic state, and so everyone should be represented. And then finally, and maybe something that will not be expected, is hope. We're looking for people who believe in the dream of Nigeria and could see themselves playing a part in that dream. And so the combination of this was what formed our selection from the 4,000 plus applications that were received. And today I'm particularly excited to see that dream become reality, and I congratulate each and every one of you. I'm also very grateful to have been part of the process, because while we were looking for people who still had hope in the dream called Nigeria, we, and me in particular, also found hope, because we know that the future is indeed bright. To conclude, let me end by saying that developing or seeding a new generation of leaders involves at least two things. The first is a dedicated team. And for this reason, I want to congratulate and thank Mr. Dapo and his team for putting this program together over the last month. Another thing that is required is investment or capital. And that involves both financial capital and other resources. And for that, I want to say a huge thank you to the Honorable Right Speaker for putting this program together. Again, congratulations to the inaugural class, and thank you for listening.
Can we please give her another round of applause? Your Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, at this point, we'll take the parliamentary simulation by the Legislative Mentorship Initiative Fellows. Please inform our distinguished guests that the order paper is in the program of this presentation is in the program of event, please. You can take a look at it from there.
The pledge. Honorable colleagues, you're welcome to our legislative sitting for today. Votes and proceedings of the last legislative sitting for the 30th of October 2022. Page 285, page 286, page 287, and page 288. I hereby call on the Majority Leader to move a motion for the adoption of the votes and proceedings.
Mr. Speaker, my distinguished honorable colleagues, good afternoon. I am Honorable Miria Sabo, Majority Leader of this great House. I represent the dynamic people of Zango Katav Jaba, LMI Parliament. And I hereby move the motion for the adoption of the votes and proceedings of the last sitting of this House, held on the 2nd of October 2022. I so move.
Thank you. Minority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, fellow honorables in the House, I am Honorable Emmanuel Sunday Onuche, the Minority Leader of this Parliament. And I represent the wonderful and flood-affected people of Kogi constituency in the LMI Parliament. I hereby second the motion moved to adopt the votes and proceedings of the last legislative sitting. I so adopt. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I so second. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Pardon me, please.
Thank you, the Minority Leader. Those in support of the motion say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. In the absence of any oaths, we have a message from the founder, LMI. The founder of the Legislative Mentorship Initiative, Right Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, wishes to congratulate all inaugural fellows for the successful completion of 5 weeks of legislative mentorship training on building the next generation of Nigeria's public sector leaders. In his words, nation building is a joint task. That is why we bring you from across all the 36 states and the FCT to play your role. I congratulate you all once again. Signed, Mr. Dapo Oyewole, Director, LMI, for Right Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, Founder, LMI, and Speaker, 9th House of Representatives. Announcements. This is to notify the House that Honorable Farid Ibrahim, the Deputy Speaker, and Honorable Abdulbasit Imam have moved from the Change Makers Party to the Elites Party for personal reasons, challenges, and lack of loyalty from the party. We go straight to petitions. Are there any petitions? Are there any petitions? Thank you. May we proceed? Honorable Stanley.
Thank you, my speaker. Mr. Speaker, I stand here to present a petition from the Academic Staff Union of Universities, presented by Honorable Stanley Nnamdi Ude, representing the wonderful people of Enugu constituency in the LMI Parliament. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, the House wishes to recall the swift intervention of Right Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, the 9th Speaker of the House of Representatives, concerning mediating between ASU and the federal government that led to the suspension of the over 8 months long industrial actions that kept Nigerian students at home. Mr. Speaker and honorable colleagues, I wish to bring to the notice of the House that only about 1 month after the suspension has taken place, we still experience, or members of, some members of ASU, of the union, still experience or still carry out have some grievances about the agreements of that particular day. To this day, we can witness some nonchalant attitudes by some of the lecturers as a result of their dissatisfaction with how the proceedings have actually been carried out, especially when it comes to the payment of what is due them, as promised by the federal government. Mr. Speaker and honorable colleagues, I wish to call on the House to intervene on this matter to prevent another industrial action, considering the plight of Nigerian students who this particular situation or industrial actions affect directly. It is important and pertinent that we don't allow the efforts of Right Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, the Speaker of the 9th House of Representatives, to be an effort in futility. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I so submit.
Honorable Stanley, kindly present your petition before the House. All petitions are referred to the LMI Committee on Petitions. Thank you. So we move straight to the order of the day. Matter of urgent public importance. Standing in the name of Honorable Martins. Honorable Martins, kindly present your motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleague. I remain my humble self.
On what order do you stand, Honorable Kafayat?
I am Honorable Kafayat Karim, representing the vibrant people of Ofa, Oyun, and Ifelodun in the LMI Parliament. Mr. Speaker, sir, I noticed that my name has been wrongly spelled on this order paper. I am not happy with this. My name has been murdered. Mr. Speaker, sir, my name has been spelled as Kafiat instead of Kafayat. Please kindly take note of this and effect the necessary changes moving forward. Thank you, sir.
Sorry about that, Honorable Kafayat. The clerk will make note of that and make changes. Honorable Martins, could you proceed, please?
Thank you, my honorable Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. I remain Honorable Martins Daubry, representing the good, the wonderful, and the flawed-reading people of Sagbama, Ekirimo, LMI, in the LMI Parliament. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleague, I rise to move the motion on the need to regularize artisanal crude oil refining in Nigeria for economic development. Mr. Speaker, I so move.
Conda, Honorable Bashir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleague, I remember my humble self, Honorable Bashir Bala, representing the good people, loving and caring people of Ontua Endimi, LMI constituency. Mr. Speaker, I am from Katsina State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion, heavily moved by Honorable Martins Dobry, the Deputy Majority Leader of this great Parliament. Mr. Speaker, Honorable colleague, I so second. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
On what order do you stand, Honorable Joji?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. You're too kind, and that is why we love you. My honorable colleagues, I remain my humble yet highly experienced self, Honorable Abubakar Saleh Joji, the Chief Lobbyist and Strategist of the House, representing the good and highly capacitated people of Damaturu, Gujiba, Gulani, Termua constituency in the LMI Parliament. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, as captured on my order paper, I see the motion to be discussed is the motion on family planning. Please kindly enlighten me as to why is it that Honorable Martins Dobry will be presenting a motion on artisanal refineries.
Honorable Joji, kindly refresh your email for an updated version, or you could ask Honorable Folakemi sitting beside you to show you how to access the updated copy. Thank you. So those in favor of the House debating the motion put forward by Honorable Martins, say aye. Aye. Those against, say nay. Nay. The ayes have it.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, once again, Honorable Martins Dobry, representing the good and the wonderful people of Sagbama, Ikirimo, in the LMI Parliament. I am from Bayelsa State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I rise to move the motion on the need to regularize artisanal crude oil refining in Nigeria for economic development. The House, aware that the oil industry unarguably contributes the largest portion to the nation's purse, producing an average of 1.238 million barrels of crude oil per day. This is according to the report of OPEC in 2022. The House, further aware that the payment of fuel subsidy has now become unsustainable owing to corruption as well as dwindling revenue to the federal government, and can be completely eliminated by promoting indigenous crude oil refining, thus freeing up funds for meeting other critical obligations of the government. The House notes that the absence of a properly working refinery, as well as the failure of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited to meet growing demands for consumer fuel, have led to a surge in illegal crude oil refining activities in the Niger Delta region. The House, cognizant that the products are often cheaper than the official market rates and are more easily accessible to retailers and end users of the product. Reports such as that from the Federal University of Petroleum Resources, EFRO, in Delta States, adjudge these products to be of the same or better quality as the imported refined petroleum products. The House believes that if the industry is regulated, thank you, my honorable Chief Whip. If the industry is regulated and artisanal refiners are trained and issued licenses, it will enable governments to control the sector and have very significant benefits to the nation's development in the areas of infrastructure, job creation, crime reduction, environmental benefits, and increased national revenue. The House resolves to direct the House committees on local content and petroleum upstream and downstream to interface with relevant stakeholders such as the Ministry of Petroleum Resources, the Ministry of Environment, the Ministry of Science and Technology, and others to develop a regulatory framework for the regularization and licensing of artisanal refiners and report back to the House within 4 weeks. Further resolves to mandate the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board, the NCDMB, and the Petroleum Training Institute, Warri, Delta State, to train and certify artisanal refiners. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I so move.
Any seconder? Honorable Hussaina.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleague, I remain my humble and vocal self, Honorable Hussaina Shehu from Niger State, representing Bida, Bako, Kacha constituency in the LMI Parliament. I rise to second the motion moved by Honorable Martins Daubry from Bayelsa State. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The motion is now put to the floor for debate. We would have 1 minute each to deliver your points. Thank you. No debate. Dear honorable colleagues, the legislative sitting hour just came to a close, and as you all know, we'll be having a meeting with the founder to discuss preparations for the next LMI fellowship. So I'll call on the House leader to step down all items on the order paper against our next legislative sitting on the 7th of November, 2022. The House leader.
People of Zango Kataf Jaba of the LMI Parliament. I hereby move the motion to step down all other items on the order paper until the next legislative sitting to hold on the specified adjourned date. I so move. Thank you.
The Deputy Minority Leader.
Fellow honorable members, I am Honorable Pamela Collins-Igrubia, the Deputy Minority Leader of this House. I represent, as always, the good, dynamic, magnanimous people of the Obia constituency in the LMI Parliament. Today I rise, Mr. Speaker, to second the motion to step down all other items on the order paper till the next legislative sitting. I so second. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of the motion to adjourn say aye. Aye. Those against say nay.
Nay.
Those in support of the motion to adjourn say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. Nay. The ayes have it. This legislative sitting remains adjourned to our next to next week. Thank you.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, can we please put our hands together again for that parliamentary simulation? I watched carefully the dexterity and the comportment of the speaker, including the Queen's English. It speaks volume. And for those of us who've been following up events in the House, will show that the mentee actually have learned so much in the way the Honorable Speaker is in charge and the great followership he enjoyed from his colleague. Please, can we put our hands together once again for them? At this point, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I will once again invite the Speaker of the Legislative Mentorship Parliament, Benue State, the Speaker for valedictory speech, please, if he's around. Okay. The Honorable Speaker, Right Honorable.
Invite him now to speak.
Olisa Abu.
No, the main speaker.
Oh, I beg your pardon, please, for that omission. At this point, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I will humbly invite for the commencement address the Honorable Speaker, House of Representatives, Right Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, CFR. He is also the founder, LMI. Mr. Speaker, sir.
Please, you may be seated. I had a protocol list here with me, but I think I left it on my seat. In legislative business, you have to be really careful who you offend and who you don't offend. So let me start by acknowledging the presence of my friend and colleague, Honorable Henry Nwauba, the chairman of the legislative agenda, who has played a major role in all my activities in the 9th Assembly. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, represented by Dr. Nnamdi, the Permanent Secretary, General Services, Mr. Tijani Umar, Permanent Secretary, State House, and of course the DG Nils, Dr. Suleiman Abubakar, and thank you for that wonderful surprise about meeting one of our fellows into the institution. The Clerk, House of Representatives, Chief of Staff to the Speaker, the coordinators of initiatives of LMI, very importantly, our technical partners who spoke here today. Your support has been immeasurable throughout this exercise. Thank you so much. Members of LMI, Director, Dr. Oyewole, for your immense scholarship in making sure this program that we started well and we finished strong. Members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, let me say good afternoon to all of you invited guests, family, friends, and well-wishers. I welcome you all to the graduation and conferment ceremony of the inaugural cohort of the Legislative Mentorship Initiative Fellowship Program. I thank you all for coming to join us today. I congratulate most heartily the young men and women who will graduate this afternoon and be conferred with the fellowship of the Legislative Mentorship Initiative. For the duration of the program, you have participated with dedication, contributed eagerly, and distinguished yourselves. You have been very, 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 I must say, meticulous by your apparent desire to educate your minds and prepare yourselves for leadership in politics and public governance. I am proud of you. And I know that your parents and guardians, family and friends, some of whom are here today, are proud of you. We delight in your achievement and look forward to the many accomplishments ahead of you. Graduation ceremonies are unique occasions. At the same time, we are acknowledging the end of one chapter and heralding the beginning of another. It is an incomparable feeling. Whilst it is not within our abilities to predict future graduation ceremonies, allow us to sense the possibility of new beginnings and delight in the promise of a tomorrow that is better than all our yesteryears. For me, I have always said, and which is what gave birth to this initiative, I've said it over and over again, and I will continue to say it. The lack of leaders, or the failure of leaders to mentor the younger ones, has been the bane of the society. You have leaders who do well, who triumph in their fields, but at the end of the day, when the time is up, you begin to search and you don't have anybody ready and equipped to fill in the gap. It is what led to the establishment of this mentorship program. I encourage you, our soon-to-be fellows, to revel in that feeling so that when the day of disappointment and despondence comes, you can look back on this day and be inspired by that sense of promise and possibility to try again and to try later. Ladies and gentlemen, there will be days when you fall short, when you look at the road ahead and wonder if you still have the strength to keep going. Whether you are a lawyer in private practice or a teacher in a school, this is inevitable. Failure and the disappointment that comes with it are part of the price you pay for being a human being in the arena of life. Now, when you pursue a career in politics and public service, you have elected to have your failures broadcast in neon lights. It is not an easy choice. However, I dare say it can be a worthy choice if you understand and operate in the knowledge that there is more than one way to serve the public good. If one avenue is closed, find another. What matters most in the end are the people whose lives you make better along the way. Distinguished fellows that are graduating at a time of great uncertainty in the world. We are in a historical moment of great danger and abounding opportunities brought on by technological advancements, accelerated by globalization and the reformation of the global economic and political order. As I told you when you began this program, it is clear to anybody that the old equilibrium is unsettled and the rules of the old order no longer apply. What is less clear is what happens next. Yet you must count yourselves fortunate, because throughout recorded history, it is in times like this that men and women of talent and ability write their names in gold for all generations to witness. Writing your name in the history book requires vision, discipline, dedication, and endurance. Colonel Thomas Lawrence was a British soldier, diplomat, and adventurer. His exploits in North Africa and the Ottoman Empire are matched only by his ability to translate events and experiences into vivid written accounts that continue to inspire. He wrote, "Those who dream by night in the dusty recesses of their minds wake in the day to find that it was vanity. But the dreamers of the day are dangerous men, for they may act on their dreams with open eyes to make them possible. The difference between a dream and a vision is the clarity of the latter, and second, the effort you put towards achieving that which already exists in your mind. Are you a dreamer or a visionary? That's the question. The LMI mandate is to develop the leaders who will shape the future of our country. We set out to train the next generation of public service leaders, especially legislators. Part of that we have tried to achieve with this program is to get you to set your sights higher than before and give you the confidence to reach beyond your present grasp. When I talk about setting your sights high, I am not talking about holding high office in government, though I fully expect you to do that. However, your visions for the future must not rest on the positions you aspire or the ambitions you have for yourself alone. Your dreams must be about more than yourself, because dreams that begin and end with your own prosperity alone are not enough for individuals as talented, bright, and capable as those graduating today. You are ordained for more than that. So do not sell yourself short by dreaming small dreams. As you raise your gaze from considerations of small things to focus on pursuing and achieving grand ambitions that lift us all and save the future, understand that the capabilities that brought you this far are not enough for where you want to go. Your achievements, including today's graduation, demonstrate your discipline and dedication. Now you must prepare to do more than ever before. Devote yourself to lifelong learning so your mind is never closed to the possibilities in your world. Determine in your hearts that you will wake up every day for the rest of your lives, determined to change the world for good. Because as Steve Jobs said, the people who are crazy enough to think that they can change the world are the ones who do. I am grateful to all those who have contributed to the Legislative Mentorship Initiative. I thank the program director once again, Dapo Oyewole, and the immense capable team that he has assembled. I thank our sponsors and donors and all who took time to contribute their knowledge. And I thank the distinguished fellows for believing enough in the vision of the Legislative Mentorship Initiative to apply and stay the course. Now, I know it hasn't been easy. It hasn't been easy to have 74 young men and women hold up into an environment for 5 weeks from diverse backgrounds, different experiences, different beliefs, and having to tolerate each other for 5 weeks. 5 weeks can be an eternity when you're with strangers. But when you have a common purpose, which is what I believe that these graduates before us had, and have had in the last 5 weeks and continue to have, that mix of sitting, standing, eating, drinking, fellowshipping with people of diverse backgrounds becomes a piece of cake. It is that common purpose, knowing what you're here for, that drives you. That is the driver. Your capacity to succeed pales in comparison for your willingness to learn and to succeed. You have been able to demonstrate this in no small measure. I took a class with you a couple of weeks ago. It was intense. At a point I had to take off my jacket because you made me sweat because of your questions. Your capacity to probe, to interrogate, to ask questions, to demand answers. Those were the things that I found absolutely amazing the 1 hour that I spent with you. And I can see from the simulation exercise that we just witnessed that many of you, or most of you, are raring to go. I wish you Godspeed. I congratulate you once more on your achievement. I say go forth and succeed. I wish I had people to mentor me at the time. But it's that fact that I stated earlier that no one mentored any one of us before you. So you have an added advantage to do even great and bolder things that many of us can even dare to do. And that is what we need in Nigeria today. Young men and women who can stand boldly, chest out, and begin to right the wrongs of the past. We live in a different age, and the longer, the moment, the earlier we realize that, the better for us as a country. Nigeria belongs to a community of nations. People are moving forward. People are reaching for greater heights. We have so much potential in this country. I wouldn't trade it for any other place, both material and natural and human resources. We have God's given talent that is embedded in every single individual, every single one of you here today. And I pray that you will unlock that talent which God has given you and contribute to the development of Nigeria. I thank you once again for applying to be part of this. As we heard earlier, we had over 4,000 applicants with only 74 intakes. This is the maiden mentorship program. It is unfortunate that the chambers of the National Assembly was under renovation at the time you came. So you missed a very, very critical part of your training. But clearly, from the simulation that I saw, you didn't really miss much. I thank you once again. And I pray that you will take whatever knowledge that you have received in the 5 weeks that you've been here, you will take knowledge into the world to make the world a better place. Thank you, and God bless you.
You may be seated, please. That was the Speaker, House of Representatives, a politician with trailblazing credentials who understands his goal and demonstrating the undiluted love, interests, and commitment to the Nigerian project. At this point, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we will take the presentation of certificates and awards. At this point, permit me once again, Mr. Speaker, who humbly invite you up again to take the to take charge of the presentation of certificates and award to the graduates here today. Mr. Speaker, please. And also, Mr. Dapo Oyewole, please come stand by the Speaker to perform this historic task, please. First on the list, I will invite Honorable Godson Nwankwo from Abia to take. Also, Honorable Nasiruddin. Honorable Nasiruddin Adama Baba from Jigawa. Honorable Abubakar Tijani Garba from Adamawa.